Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're jumping into another fun-filled episode of the Twilight Zone. This time it's Season 4, Episode 2, The 30 Fathom Grave. Came out January 10th, 1963. Another episode I haven't seen before, but before we get started, let's jump into what you had to say about last week's episode in his image. CBCW76 says, "This is a wonderful start to a Season 4, which I only recall for a few episodes, but my general impression is too long, too slow. Or else was a little girl getting fed up with Rod and his Twilight Zone hijinks. I could never tell. Season has some favorites. Burgess Meredith as a crooked little ma-er? No, not really a man. Huh. I'm not sure exactly what that means until I actually get to that episode, probably. CBCW76 continues on and says, episode number 2 is my submarine story, and I'd forgotten this for a long time until I stumbled across the even more haunting On the Beach 1959 with Gregory Peck, Ava Gardner, Fred Astaire, and the worst and most useless Aussie accent in the history of cinema, looking exactly like Anthony Perkins. That film proved Anthony really needed Mother Bates. But back to the sub-story. In On the Beach, the world is being annihilated by a thoroughly nuked atmosphere, slowly wiping out whatever lands it contacts. Australia is next, but towards the end of the movie, the American sub-crew picks up an odd Morse code tapping out some odd signal. Years later, this haunting would make its way to Twilight Zone Season 4, Episode 2. Well, that sounds actually very intriguing. The movie itself from 1959 starring Gregory Peck, that's actually one I haven't seen before. I might have to sit down and actually check that out. I'm going to make a note of that right now, actually, because of your comment, and I really enjoyed what you had to say about it. Natalie Compton says, thank you for being respectful about being upset about the top 5. Sorry for being so harsh on my comments about your friend, but I was truly upset. I felt like he was too negative toward those that like the Twilight Zone. If he was just commenting on what he liked and didn't like, that would have been okay, but I felt like he was looking down on those that liked the Twilight Zone episodes, and that truly upset me. Well, Natalie, I apologize and hope you don't feel that way in future episodes going forward with our Twilight Zone marathon that we have going on this channel. And my friend Chad, I don't think he meant to come off that way in any way, shape, or form when it comes to making fun of anybody who loves the Twilight Zone, because I love the Twilight Zone. We try to be respectful on this channel as much as we can. I didn't take your comments as harsh. It's okay. I mean, people have feelings, and it is our responsibility to hopefully make you feel better with what we just said here on the channel. So with all that being said, let's move forward and appreciate the comment. Lester Manley says, what's the story on the videotaped episodes? I remember seeing the Art Carney and Bill Mummy episodes. The story is there was, I think, 5 or 6 episodes that were filmed between seasons 2 and 3, I believe. And you can tell that they were filmed on videotape due to the fact that they were grainy. They didn't look as good compared to the film episodes that look wonderful today. You can definitely tell, and the reason why they were doing it, they were trying to see if they can make the episodes cheaper in the long run, but it kind of killed some of the quality of the episodes they did the videotaped shows on. So luckily they stuck to film after that little 6-episode run, which is kind of spread out throughout that season. It seems like they filmed a bunch of episodes and they just kind of released them in an out of order sequence. That's the story. Thanks for the comment. Oh, Lester continues on, says, Season 4 has a few gems, but except for Death Ship and On Thursday, We Leave for Home, they seem to drag a little bit. In the premiere episode, the electronic sound effects give it away far too soon. And why only 18 episodes instead of the standard 26 to 30? Did they decide to go back to the half-hour format mid-season and just complete the first half? The Outer Limits handled the hour-long format way better. I started watching The Outer Limits. I am probably going to get back into The Outer Limits at some point because I did like some shows or some episodes they had in that series, but I thought they kind of drug a little bit, and I felt like they needed to go to that 23-minute mark when it came to telling a story like Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits or a lot of the other shows like Crypt Keeper and Night Gallery and whatever else they had out there that's shows like Twilight Zone. They only did the 18 episode for this season due to the fact that they're double the length. So double the length means that it's going to be a lot more money, and basically it's the same budget, short amount of episodes, but it's really the same amount of time when you think about it. Now, keep an eye out for those episodes that you mentioned, Death Ship and On Thursday We Leave for Home. Looking forward to those, but I look forward to all of the Twilight Zone episodes, so going to be very interesting going forward. When it came to the FX sound, I really didn't know where we were going with that episode on first watch. To me, I think I did make the comment maybe 3/4 into the episode and said, like, is he a robot? When you maybe go back on second watch, it's like, yeah, it's very electronic and he's on the fritz, and he was definitely a robot in the end of it. But thanks for the comments. Very much appreciate it, Lester. Kindle Square says this was an okay episode. I knew he was a robot in the beginning, but by the sounds in his head, another version of Frankenstein's story. I have thoughts myself of making a person that looks like me for studying. Yeah, you're right. This is a Frankenstein story. I didn't really think about that until you mentioned it. So very much appreciate you showing me the parallels of the story. One, of course, is being a robot. The other one being a person made of a bunch of body parts. So yeah, but the only difference is that. Yeah, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a very well done episode. Ray says season 4 is not as nearly as bad as people remember and has several solid episodes. The bad ones come when there isn't a twist and instead are just a world's weird situation, more like an Outer Limits episode. I'm kind of with you there when it comes to the Outer Limits episode. We'll see what goes with this. I so far have liked the first episode, 17 to go, and we'll see where they all rank at the end of this season. Thanks for the comment. Jonathan Stein says season 5 goes back to 30-plus half-hour episodes because the network realized that the full hour format wasn't working. This episode is a good example as to why, since a simple plot got stretched out far longer than it needed to be. We didn't need to spend half the episode waiting for the guy to find out he's a robot. True, I agree with that. Lethal Leopard says, out of the season 4 episodes, my favorite ones are Valley of the Shadow and Printer's Devil. Printer's Devil has Burgess Meredith in it. Actually, that's been mentioned before, but not by the title of the actual episode. What is interesting is the fact that I've had 3 or 4 different people now tell me 2 or 1 different answers when it comes to their favorite episodes of season 4. So in reality, I have about half the season that has been recommended by me by different people within the comments section. Going to be very interesting to see which ones I enjoy. Jack Dorsey 4850 says, have you ever seen One Step Beyond? I have not seen One Step Beyond. That's a movie or is that a TV show? I'm going to go say it's probably a movie. But let me know in next week's comments. Jack Dorsey 4850 says that some hobby improves yourself with a trip to the hardware store. Well, everybody likes a trip to the hardware store. Oh, I mean, at least I do. But thanks for the comment, Jack. Eric Jansen 394 says, Season 4, which even Rod admitted was the series Shark Jump, get ready for long filler, rambling stories, and unappealing characters that only make a flimsy premise seem flimsier. And this is literally only one of the milder examples. Yeah, I've had a lot of people come in and comment discussing how Season 4 is kind of a slower season in comparison to the other ones. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly how I feel about the seasons, especially since so many people have recommended different episodes, and not too many people have had overlapping lists in terms of what they've enjoyed in Season 4. So I guess I'm going to keep on trekking with Season 4. I have so far liked Episode 1. I thought it was a decent episode. I didn't think it was bad at all. And now we're jumping into Episode 2. Let's go.
The Twilight Zone.
The South Pacific, 1963.
Damage report, sir, on a motor whaleboat? Well, it's completely filled with water, sir.
That boat was not properly secured for heavy weather. Tell the chief bosun's mate I want to see him in my cabin.
Copy.
On the double!
I'll do it on the triple, sir.
Chief Bosun's mate, Bell reporting as ordered, sir.
What do you want?
The state of being at ease. You run the deck division. You handle the boat's rigging in and out. You supervise the heavy equipment. Instead, it was left swung out. As a result, she's 80% damaged and filled up like a swimming pool.
Sorry. God.
Question, Chief.
It's like TPS reports on Office Space.
I did the best I could, sir. I haven't been feeling up to par.
Did you report to sick bay?
I didn't report to sick bay, sir.
Now, you've rated 4-0 all the way down the line for as long as you've served on this ship. And suddenly, in the last 3 days, you've stowed away your seamanship in the trunk someplace. And come up with a bunch of dumbhead boners I wouldn't expect from a 17-year-old boob.
What's the deal, man?
Bell, what is the problem?
Right?
No, sir. No problem, sir. I'll watch in the future, sir.
Leave.
If you want to bend my ear, you know where my cabin is.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what's his deal? Oh, he's dizzy.
You okay, Chief?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Contact bearing 2
A collision at sea can ruin your day. I would say so.
Evaluate as possible submarine. Plotting dead in the water. Sounds like hammering or something, sir.
Bridge eye. What kind of object, sonar?
From its appearance on the scope, it's some kind of large object.
I'm going to check the scope.
United States naval destroyer on what has been a most uneventful cruise. Someone or something tapping on metal, because Captain Beecham and his crew have just set a course that will lead this ship and everyone on it into the Twilight Zone.
Oh dear. What's this tap, tap, tapping?
How long have you been in contact?
About 3 minutes, sir.
Sure sounds like tapping on metal, doesn't it?
The submarine.
Try making contact by underwater telephone.
I've already tried. No response, sir.
Well, shucks. It stopped.
Stop now.
It must have died.
But sonar still has a contact.
Stay on it. I'll be on the bridge.
Steady on course 030. Engine romances, all engines stop, sir.
Copy. Roger. Aye, aye. Yes.
You hear it, sir?
Hold it. I want that quiet.
What do you suppose it is? Ghosts, man, ghosts. What do you think it is, Chief?
Ghosts. You said it.
I never heard anything like that before.
I've heard of pounding of metal. Not to the point where everybody can hear it on a boat, though, if it's underwater. It's really affecting him, though. Captain, nothing's wrong.
You blacked out up on the deck, Chief. All right. Yeah, and I think you better lie flat for a little while. They're all curious about what's making that noise. Don't you worry about it, whatever it is. Just get some rest.
He's definitely the center of it all, since it's affecting him more than anyone else.
I want 15 witnesses at my hearing and all on my side.
It's only about 30 fathoms.
Sure, it could be a submissile. That's probably what it is. But what about this sub? Has it got 2 arms and a fist? Somebody's making that noise down there.
How are you gonna find out?
We have a diver on board.
Yes, sir. McClure, 1st Division, is qualified diver.
We'll send him down there and have him knock on the door.
And then what, sir?
We'll see who invites him in. Just stay in touch with us from the moment you hit the water until the moment you reach it. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Aye, aye.
Listen to the sound very closely. We may be getting it distorted up here.
Well, how deep are we going?
But if it isn't a sub, sir, what is it?
How would he know?
Maybe it's just our imagination.
Well, how could that be if we can all hear it?
Now, diver, going over the starboard side.
To dive in that. I know that thing was pretty heavy back in the day. Oh, that's something man-made.
This is the captain. I hear you loud and clear. Keep talking, McClure.
It's a sub, sir, no question about that. Her bow is buried about 15 feet into the bottom. I can't read any identification. It's covered up. There's been damage there. The number's been obliterated. She's coming from amidships. I'm moving toward there now.
Tap on the hull, McClure, and see if you get a response.
Mission successful.
No response, sir. I don't hear anything anymore.
Climb up on her deck and check the hatches. See if you can open them.
Wait a minute. I'll check on the one over the conning tower.
Well, the only way he can be able to get in there and open up the hatch is if the compartment within it is flooded. If not, good luck.
This whole deck appears to have been strafed.
I'm definitely liking this episode. It's very much a mystery. Not sure what's going on yet.
Whoever she is, sir, she must have really caught it. The whole deck is pockmarked with shell damage, machine gun damage, too.
This is wild. There is somebody inside.
Can you tell precisely where it's coming from?
Wait a minute.
It says wait a minute a lot.
Unknown station, this is Lady. Over.
Someone answer.
This is Lady. Over.
No response, sir, on the phone.
All right, McClure, stay as long as you can and then come up when you're ready.
What if he's ready now? He said stay a while longer, but come up when you're ready. I'm ready now, sir.
We'll remain this area until further advised. President's operational immediate.
Radio eye.
Copy. What do you think, sir?
If it's one of our subs, we would have gotten a report on it. Why haven't they gone out the torpedo tubes? That sub was hit by shell fire. Whatever action took place must have happened within a period of hours, or else there wouldn't have been anyone still alive.
Time travel?
Now put all that together and it spells nothing.
I like how they're shooting everything at a high angle. I bet this is like a docked boat somewhere. They're not showing anything that's beyond the dock. That's a heck of a job to have on a boat, to be like the only diver on the boat. Like, how often do you actually dive? You're probably just hanging out the majority of the time.
How do you feel now, Chief?
Yeah.
You had a pretty good sleep.
What's new from down below?
Scuttlebutt is we're going to try and take her in tow.
This feeling of mine, I get this feeling I can't stay in one place. I gotta get up and go out. Ordering me someplace is pulling me someplace.
Where would that be? The
If I
sub?
didn't, I'd go up on deck and I'd never come back. Huh? So I'm pretty nuts.
Yeah, a little bit. Might need to strap this guy down. Because I feel like whatever he just says is going to come to fruition.
There is somebody inside her, sir. I'll lay odds on that.
She sounds like one of ours.
She looks like one of ours.
What is that? Oh,
She's moving, sir.
settling.
She wasn't stuck in tight. She seemed to be swaying when I was down there.
Get yourself some coffee and go back down. She may have pulled herself loose and you can read the number.
Oh, good idea.
If you can get me a number off her hull, we may be able to sleep tonight.
So, are we not allowed to sleep if I don't get the number?
If they're in there and can't use the torpedo tubes, how do we get them out?
Good question.
Bridge, this is McClure.
Go ahead, McClure. This is the captain.
She's pulled herself out, sir.
1, 4. Oh, wait. 7, 1, 4.
714.
She's one of ours. Come on up here, McClure, and get yourself a broiled steak on me. Get that book with the hull numbers.
714.
714. Commissioned December 1941. Sunk in action 1942.
It's like 20 years ago.
Who's inside that sub?
He's been living in there for 22 years.
Chief Matthews, sir.
Come on in, Doc.
How's it going?
Well, Captain, I'd like to talk to you about one of the men. Sir, what do you know about Chief Bell?
What that?
I know his rating and his service record.
Or a psychosis or whatever. I don't know. That's a little out of my line, Captain. He needs help. Psychiatric help.
Funny about some men. 21 years Navy. Served in everything from a scout to a carrier. And all of a sudden he cracks up like a dinghy in a storm.
It's still the mystery. So is whoever's in that sub down below.
As for cracking up, that's what he's doing. Because I've been watching him down there in the sick bay. He has a look about him. Like a man who's just been picked up off a raft full of dead men.
All right.
What does that mean?
When we put back to port, I'll recommend hospitalization for him and some examinations.
Quiet, huh?
He looks familiar.
Is he gonna send McClure down there again?
All I know is there's a boiler tender second who's making book in the crew's quarters.
He looks familiar because that's Bill Bigsby, the Incredible Hulk. Or David Banner from the show Incredible Hulk.
Well, this is World War II revisited for him. He was picked up here after a sinking.
Huh. So he was on that boat.
At least that's the way I...
Sub.
Well, then maybe he is dredging up memories.
Here we go again.
Still coming from down below, Captain?
Yep. How's the patient?
Well, he's asleep. I'm just going to get some coffee.
Was he supposed to die in that sub? And he's being called back to the grave? Uh-oh. Come to us. Die. That's haunting.
What's the matter, Chief? What happened?
They were staring at me. They were pointing at me. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but they were there. It was as if they were... You see me in the mirror?
There's no one there. It's broke.
I see you're fine. Nobody is ordering you anywhere, and you're not going anyplace. We're gonna whip this. I promise you, we're gonna whip this.
I'd really like to know the story here. What's the twist?
Something loose that's probably swinging back and forth, hitting a bulkhead.
It's possible. And tell him to report the scene for rescue attempt. Emergency precedence.
Airlock.
Get on it right away, will you? I'll be on the bridge.
Who are they gonna find? What are they gonna find?
Where are you going, Chief?
Who's outside in the passageway?
Well, there's nobody out there who shouldn't be out there. You can talk yourself into any kind of nightmare you want. Well, there's nobody out there. Nobody at all. Well, who do you think was out there?
I don't know.
Gonna show him? No one there.
Doc, what's happening to me?
He doesn't know.
You're gonna build so many nightmares into that brain of yours that...
Just look. He probably sees something, though.
Just as if somebody out there was waiting for me. Just as if something out there's pulling me.
Should probably put him to sleep.
Doc, I'm scared to open the door.
Don't. I told you there's nobody out there.
Doc, I'm scared to open this door, but I got to.
Just look. He sees... Yep. That's freaking him out. You should probably go back inside. Go back inside. Go back inside. There we go. They see him in there too?
My dear God. Did you see them? They were wet, they were dripping wet, and they were not alive.
You didn't see a thing. All you saw was what your scatbrain told you to see. That's all that it was. What you talked yourself into wanting to see.
I don't know. Look pretty real. See anybody? He sees water though, doesn't he? Oh. Seaweed. That's weird. He's gonna make him a believer.
I've reached the sub, sir. The next noise you hear, that'll be me.
What about it, McClure? Any response?
No response anywhere.
What's that?
Captain, I found something here. It's a pair of dog tags.
Well, give them a few more minutes and then come on back up.
Yes, sir.
Dog tags probably belong to the guy going crazy on the boat.
That sub-rescue ship is due here about 0300. Keep your eye peeled.
This is what I found, sir.
Good job. Go get yourself some coffee. When the ASR team gets here, you'll have to get down with them as Pathfinder.
Well, you better look at those tags.
They're yours, aren't they? McClure found them on the deck of the sub down there. When did you lose them, Boots?
It was a long time ago, sir. 20 years ago, sir. Submarine. That one down below us, that was my boat. It was night. I was a signalman then. I was supposed to, I don't know what happened. I dropped the signal light. The infrared filter fell off. They saw our light. They let us have it. Straddled us with their first salvo. Took the sub down, but it was too late. They unloaded depth charges.
I was screaming! Folks, sit up. All right now.
I got out, see? I got out. Oh, I got picked up later by one of our destroyers, see? You understand that? They're calling muster.
Where's he going? Well, the captain's in no hurry. He's going over. Get the boat.
The rescue team ought to be in that sub by now, huh, Captain?
Yep.
We're gonna find.
You got in.
Yep.
It was a wreck inside, sir. Nobody had a chance.
Nobody?
Nobody, sir.
But
One whole section was just hanging there, swinging back and forth.
That was making the noise then,
was it?
wasn't it?
I guess so, sir. There were 8 men in the control room. 8 men or what was left of them, and one of them had a hammer in his hand.
Okay.
McClure, let's just say that that's part of the story you tell your grandchildren that you make up yourself.
That doesn't prove anything. The guy was probably banging on the hull when he went down with the ship back 20 years ago.
Funny thing how long it takes some men to die, or to find any peace at all. Sometimes I think that's the worst thing there is about war. Not just what it does to the bodies, what it does to the minds. So rest in peace, Chief Bell. I think it's your due now.
The month of April, 1963. Look for this one filed under H for haunting in the Twilight Zone.
Interesting. Well, that was episode 2. I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very interesting episode. Kept me interested all the way up until the end. Didn't know what was going on. I thought the end was a little bit on the lackluster side. I just thought there would be more to it than the guy just kind of being haunted by the people that went down. Unless he actually did something wrong and he was being haunted because of that, then I would be like, okay, then I understand. But the guy just survived, and I guess he had survivor's guilt, and he couldn't get over it, and he just decided, you know what, I need to be back to where the boys went down. And I guess the ghosts were calling him back and haunting him so much that the entire boat was able to hear his haunting with the knocking on the side of the submarine. And come to find out, I don't know. I mean, when the guy said the submarine, or when the diver basically stated that there was a guy with a hammer in his hand, meaning that there was somebody down there pounding on the side of the boat, on the hull, trying to get people's attention back in 1941 or 2, or whenever the boat went down. And it made it sound like, yeah, that guy was pounding, and that's what we were listening to, the pounding from that dead guy. It's like, no, it was just happenstantial. I mean, there's not really no rhyme or reason to what actually happened other than the fact that people were hearing something being pounded, and maybe it was just the ghost needing him to come back. But I'm not sure. It's one of those episodes that make you question what's going on, what actually was happening, Who actually knows? And it leaves you asking a lot more questions at the very end of it. I kind of wish that the twist was more like they found him on the boat along with the guys, and maybe what lived beyond that was just kind of a hull or a husk of whatever died on the boat. I'm not sure. I mean, I think I just would have went a different route, but not a bad episode. Kept me intrigued. Definitely wasn't bored with it, and can't wait to see what goes on further into season 4. Now, let's jump into some trivia and see what it took to get this episode off the ground. Season 4 of Twilight Zone is the only one of the 5 seasons that ran its episodes in hour-long slots rather than the conventional half-hour format. The 30 Fathom Grave was written by Rod Serling before the network and producers decided to try out the series in the new, lengthier format. Since the episode had already been optioned for Season 4, it was necessary for Rod Serling to rewrite and expand the episode to fit the new hour slot. Therefore, several new scenes had to be added or padded to fill up time. As a result, this episode received mostly negative feedback based on its slow pace and unnecessary dialogue. Interesting. I didn't think it was very slow paced. I was actually intrigued all the way through. The exterior shots of this ship used in this episode were of the Mighty Mucks USS Molyneux DD-944, a Forrest Sherman-class destroyer. The interior shots were done on board the USS Edison DD-946. Mike Kellin portrayed the main character, Chief Bell, died on August 26, 1983. Simon Oakland, who portrayed the captain, died 3 days later on August 29, 1983. The ship used for exterior shots in the episode was decommissioned on August 11th, 1983. Well, it was a hell of a month for this season, I suppose. That was a hell of a month for this episode. Almost 20 years after the fact. Kind of funny how that works out. The position of the ship and sub is given as 90 degrees 30 north, 160 degrees 48 east, which places them about 2 miles north of the island of Nura in the Solomon Islands, roughly in the middle of the Solomon Sea. According to the dialogue, the sub was reported lost on August 7, 1942, which coincides with the Allied landings in Tulagai and the Florida Islands in the eastern Solomon Island chain, igniting what we know today as the Solomon Island Campaign. However, no American submarines were present in the area on August 7th. In fact, according to the USN Order of Battle for the campaign, no American submarines participated at all. Well, it's a fictional story. Mike Kellin, who played Chief Bell, was a lieutenant commander in the U.S. Navy during World War II. Interesting. A fathom originally was measured by a man's outstretched arms. It was later standardized as 6 feet in the Universal English Language. Therefore, the title translates as 180-foot grave. Submarine 714 was actually a World War II German vessel that was sunk during the conflict. The whole number of the submarine 714 was not actually assigned until the USS Norfolk SSN-714. The submarine was commissioned in May of 1983 and decommissioned in December of 2014. Bill Bixby and Simon Oakland only worked together twice, and both times were in 1963, following their collaboration here. Oakland later guest starred on the first episode of Bixby's sitcom My Favorite Martian. Several key elements of the plot are notably similar to the independent horror thriller Carnival of Souls, 1962, which Ebert later described as being like a lost episode of The Twilight Zone, which had been released several months earlier in 1962, September. The similarities included the concept of the main character being the sole survivor of a fateful event that killed the rest of their companions, the character's growing conviction that they were meant to have died too, and the repeated appearance of the dead as ghostly apparitions who beckon the character to join them in death. However, this is almost certainly entirely coincidental. Serling is known to have written his original script before Season 4 of Twilight Zone commenced in early 1963. The original 30-minute screenplay had already been optioned, and Serling was later obliged to expand it considerably when Season 4 was extended to hour-long episodes. In addition, it would have been highly unlikely that Serling would have heard of Carnival of Souls at the time, since it was made independently in the Midwest and had only a very limited local release at the time, premiering in Lawrence, Kansas, and remained quite obscure for many years after its original release. This episode takes place in April 1963. The USS Eden is now a museum ship docked at Saginaw Valley Naval Ship Museum in Bay City, Michigan. Carnival of Souls came out in 1962. It was an hour and 18 minutes long, and it starred Candice Hilligoss. Notable things that she's been in is The Curse of the Living Corpse, Quincy M.E., and Naked City TV series from 1962. Chief Bell is played by Mike Kellen, and his notable things that he's been in is Sleepaway Camp, Midnight Express, The Boston Strangler, and God Told Me To. The captain, Simon Oakland, who plays Captain Beecham, he was in Psycho, West Side Story, Bullet, and The Night Strangler. Well, that's it for this episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below, and let us know what you thought of this episode. I will go over those comments in next week's episode on our way to episode 156 of the Twilight Zone. Until next time, see you later.